guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. It's Brittany here with another video to help you guys live a happy, healthy, awesome life in a wheelchair. And today I thought I would do a video to update you guys on what the heck I'm going to do now that I've gotten this diagnosis with my syrinx. My future is a little bit uncertain, and so I am going to try my best to have some things to focus on so that I can remain positive about my future and remain in a healthy headspace. So how am I going to do that? Well, if you are part of my email list, then you heard me talk about the difference between asking why me and now what. And I try not to ask why me when certain things happen, especially if I get bad news, because it just is a disempowering thing to ask, at least for me, because it really just makes me think about all of the ways that maybe my life is worse than other people's, and that's not helpful for me. So instead of asking why me, I like to ask now what? Now what is there for me to do? And that allows me to make very specific goals and have priorities about how I want to think and feel and behave. And that will allow me to have a positive outlook about my future. And so I am going to go through basically what my now what looks like instead of my why me for this situation. And then hopefully if you guys have something that you're dealing with, you can ask yourself the same question and come up with a sort of a now what plan for your own situation. My family is cleaning the garage, so there's noise in the house. So if you hear people yelling or banging, that's what they're doing. And I'm supposed to be hurrying so that I can go help. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, so there's 3 things essentially that I want to focus on in the next little while my future is a little bit uncertain because of this syrinx diagnosis. The first is prioritizing my physical and mental health, and I'll talk about the things that I'm gonna do in order to do that. And then the second thing is researching my options in terms of like the syrinx that I have, the surgeries that are available to me. Basically, what are my options moving forward for fixing this syrinx. And then number 3 is staying busy and having some goals. So I'll talk about what some of those things are. So those are the 3 things that I want to prioritize or focus on in the next little while so that I have a healthy headspace and I can maintain a positive outlook about my future. So let's talk about number 1, prioritizing my physical and mental health. I have my book here. If you're like, what is she looking at? It's my book, my little blue book that I always have when I have lists that I can never follow. Okay, so prioritizing my physical and mental health. What am I gonna do in order to do that? So the first one under this that I'm going to do is eat to reduce inflammation. So I wanna go, if I have to have surgery, I wanna go into the surgery with as little inflammation in my body as possible so that my body can heal properly and it's just in a really good space to go into a surgery. I'll probably do a whole video on the whole diet thing that I'm doing in order to figure out which foods are good for me. And then after I sort of get a handle on that, or while I'm getting a handle on eating to reduce inflammation, I'm going to exercise. I have been terrible over the summer with making exercise a priority and doing it consistently. Like I've exercised here and there with some friends, but it just hasn't been a daily priority for me. So I have to really get back into it. And I want to, 1, stretch so that my muscles are very pliable and have a better chance of healing if I do have to have a surgery. And then I want to lift weights to maintain my strength. So those are the things that I'm gonna focus on with my exercise, just stretching and weights. And then 3, for my mental health specifically, I want to focus on positive things. So I want to have a positive outlook about my future and about the outcome of the surgery. And so in order to do that, I have been doing a lot of reading Joe Dispenza and Louise Hay. So Joe Dispenza is a doctor that talks a lot about how your brain actually works and how it influences your entire body. It's all metaphysical stuff, like how your thoughts can affect your physical body and your health. And Louise Hay is a big affirmations person, so I have her book You Can Heal Your Life. And thanks to my friend Bean, she actually like reminded me of Louise Hay and gave me some affirmations specifically for the spine. But then I went and got her book, How You Can Heal Your Life, and there's some like really simple ones that I've picked out for my spine, specific vertebrae, and specific areas of my body that I want to focus on thinking positively about. And then Dr. Joe Dispenza, if you don't know who he is huge into mindfulness and how it affects your physical health. And the book that I'm currently reading right now is called Evolve Your Brain, which was his first book ever. And it goes into a lot of depth about like your brain chemistry and how the physiology of your brain works. But then he also goes into talking about how your thoughts create your actual body chemistry and how that can create health or disease. So I'm trying to do some meditations around health and doing all this reading about how my thoughts can affect my physical health and using affirmations to remain positive. So those are the things that I'm going to do to prioritize my physical and mental health. Eat to reduce inflammation, exercise to keep my muscles nice and pliable, and then lift weights to keep them strong, and then doing affirmations and meditations in order to have a positive mind space. So that's what I'm going to do for my physical and mental health. And then number 2, I'm going to research my options for my syrinx. So I really want to go into this surgery really knowledgeable about what my options are. The last 2 surgeries, I just didn't go in very informed or as part of the process, which I really don't like. And this time I want it to be different. There's a couple of things that I'm concerned about and interested in asking the surgeons before they even start scheduling another surgery. So one of the things is just what kinds of shunts are there. I know that I've had 2 shunts put in that aren't programmable or anything like that, but I've since learned that there are programmable shunts. Blah, my mind or my mouth is not working today. There's programmable shunts, so I want to ask about that and see if that's an option or, you know, what they're usually used for. And then the other thing that I want to ask about is this surgery that I was told about that they do in Barcelona at a syringomyelia clinic there. One of the viewers of one of my videos actually asked if I'd ever heard of this clinic in Barcelona and sort of talked a little bit about what they do there for syrinxes. And so I contacted them, and it's like a surgery where they basically like clip the tendon that attaches your spinal cord to your tailbone. And their thought, or according to their research, it actually improves the outcome of syringomyelia. So I'm going to send them my medical records and things like that just to see what they would do for the syrinx that I have. And then I'm going to ask my surgeons here about what they think about the research that's been done in Barcelona, just because then if they think it's, you know, not going to hurt, then if they're doing the surgery here, they might just do that same thing anyway, or like that's what I'm hoping anyway. So I'm asking about that, the different kinds of shunts, this surgery that's available in Barcelona. And then I have the vertebrae that was actually like shattered in my accident. It was supposed to have dissolved, like all of the bone fragments were supposed to just dissolve into my bloodstream, but they didn't. They sort of like formed a bone mass that protrudes into my spinal cord. And so I want to ask about that bone. It's been there ever since, you know, my bone healed, and it's actually narrowing my spinal cord or my spinal column. So I want to ask if there's something that can be done about that, and maybe that will improve the flow of my cerebral spinal fluid in my spinal cord if they get rid of that bone or fix it or make it smaller and not protruding into my spinal cord. So those are the basic questions that I want to ask about my syrinx. So that's the big second thing that I'm focusing on, is knowing my options. And then the third thing that I'm focusing on in the near future is having some goals and staying busy. Obviously, I want to be able to like spend time with my family, stay healthy physically and mentally, but I also want to have some goals. And so obviously my YouTube channel is going to keep going, things like that. But a couple of things that I want to focus specifically on are, one, this thing that I'm calling a rehabilitation roadmap. So I've had this idea for a while, and now I'm putting it out in the universe to you guys about having courses that I can offer that are taught by people that have been through the journey with a spinal cord injury, taught to people that are currently in their journey with a spinal cord injury. Everybody that would teach these courses would be somebody that's gone through everything that you've gone through if you currently have a spinal cord injury. And there's specific steps in the journey that are important to getting you or a loved one back to a life that you feel good about. But what I want to do in the next little while is some research with you folks to actually figure out people that are currently in their beginning stages of a spinal cord injury, what they need, what they think they need, and then hear from people like myself that have been through the whole journey and are on the other side. What would be important for people that are just beginning their journey to know from our perspective now, having gone through it. So if you want to be involved in these like sort of research sessions to build or help me build this roadmap with these courses on it for people that are newly injured with spinal cord injury, I have a link in the description below, and you can sign up for I'm calling them focus group sessions. Focus group, support group, whatever you want to call it. But right now it's basically just research. Everybody that is dealing with a spinal cord injury or that has gone through a spinal cord injury can be in one space, and we can talk about the things that we think are important in the steps to a life post spinal cord injury. So there's going to be 6 sessions, and they are currently scheduled for Thursdays at 7 p.m. my time. It's Mountain Standard Time. And we'll play around with that for a little while. And if that doesn't work for people, then we can change the dates. But right now, that's what I have it set up as. So that's one thing that I'm working on, the rehabilitation roadmap. If you want to sign up for it, go to the link in the description below. And you can come hang out with me on Thursdays until mid-November. And then the second thing is merch, which I've had a few people ask about and have never really, I don't know, I have considered doing merch. I just was too lazy to actually do it. But I figured out how to do it and made a couple of shirts in case anybody's interested in having some of my merch. I made 2 things. One shirt that says doer of hard things. And I always say this to myself. I say I can do hard things. And if there's other people that are going through a spinal cord injury, I always say, welcome to the Doer of Hard Things Club, because we really do have to do hard things. And sometimes we have to keep telling ourselves that we are capable of doing hard things in order to get to the other side where those hard things begin to feel easy. So I made this shirt, Doer of Hard Things, and especially going into this, searing surgery or this little bit of a uncertain future for me, I really wanted a shirt for myself that said Doer of Hard Things. It's just an affirmation that you can wear on a daily basis to remind yourself how capable you are, how capable we all are of doing hard things. So if you want a Doer of Hard Things shirt, you can go to the link that I'm going to put in the description to order one. For women, I did like a crop top sweatshirt, and then for men, it's a unisex shirt, the other one, in case you don't like a crop top. But I made sure that both men and women could order it. So that's one of the merch things that I created. And then another one is just an Empowered Para sweatshirt. And the other shirt that I was going to consider making was just Happy, Healthy, Awesome shirts. Like, I am happy, healthy, awesome, because that is my tagline. So you can let me know in the comments if you would like a Happy, Healthy, Awesome shirt, and I will design one and put it on the merch shop. So yeah, those are the things that I'm working on. This roadmap that I want to be able to do research for so that I can help newly injured people with courses that are filled with important information to get them back to a life they love, and also support built into the courses too. And then merch. So I will continue to provide merch if you guys buy it and think that it's a good idea. And if you have any suggestions for the types of merch that you'd like to see, then let me know in the comments and I will do that. So just to recap, the things that I am working on over the next few months in order to stay sane with this syrinx diagnosis are prioritizing my physical and mental health, researching my options for my steerings, and then staying busy and having goals. So that is what my now what looks like. I don't know what your now what would look like if you were hit with something that was not so great, but don't ask why me, because that's not empowering. Ask now what and make a plan, and this is my plan. So I'm gonna go help my family clean the garage now and spend some time with them on this beautiful Sunday, and I will catch you guys back here on another video. See you guys. Mwah.